Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever looked at a new Pro laptop and wondered if it's truly the right fit for your work or if it's really just for that, super specialized high-end user?
Yeah, exactly. And today we're taking a deep dive into the 2024 Apple MacBook Pro 14-inch, specifically the model with the base M4 chip. What's fascinating here is how it kind of carves out a new niche, sitting right between the ultra-portable MacBook Air and those hyper-powered M4 Pro and M4 Max variants. Our mission is basically to dissect its true strengths, maybe some surprising limitations, and ultimately help you understand who this machine is genuinely built for.
Right. So what really makes this M4 MacBook Pro a significant step up? Is it more than just the usual year-over-year kind of gain?
Oh, definitely. It's more than just an incremental bump. The M4 chip itself, well, it's a leap. It packs a 10-core CPU that's 4 performance cores, 6 efficiency cores, and it's built on a second-gen 3-nanometer process.
Okay, 3-nanometer second-gen. What does that actually mean for someone using it?
It means more power packed in, but also incredible efficiency. So you get sustained performance, potentially better battery life for certain tasks. And maybe even more critical is its 16-core neural engine. It's capable of, get this, 38 trillion operations per second.
Wow. 38 trillion.
Yeah. That's the foundation for what Apple calls Apple Intelligence, on-device AI stuff. Think real-time translation, advanced photo editing, all happening right there on the laptop, super fast, no cloud needed.
Okay, so the chip's a big deal. What about outside the chip, the display?
The display. It's genuinely best in class. You're looking at a liquid retina XDR display. It's got a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, 1600 nits peak brightness for HDR content. For creatives, that means incredibly accurate colors, amazing detail.
Yeah, that sounds impressive.
And there's that optional nano texture coating. If you work in bright places, it's a real game changer for cutting down glare.
Okay, that display sounds incredible. And the rest of the package? I heard they bumped the base memory, and the ports look pretty solid too.
That's right. Great point. The base model now starts with 16 gigs of unified memory.
Unified memory, so CPU and GPU share it.
Exactly. And it's super fast. That's really crucial for smoother creative work, like video editing or graphic design. You feel it there. And yeah, the port selection is excellent. 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, standard HDMI, an SDXC card slot, and MagSafe 3 is back.
MagSafe? Yeah. People love that.
They do. It means versatile connections. For a lot of pros, that means no dongle life, which is always a plus.
Okay, it sounds incredibly powerful, feature-rich, at least on paper, but the devil's often in the details. Let's get into the reality check. What do people really need to know beyond the shiny headlines? Let's start with battery life. What's the real story there?
Right. So first off, those battery claims can be a bit misleading. Apple advertises up to 24 hours.
Which sounds amazing.
It does. But for heavy pro workloads, think DaVinci Resolve, Blender, that kind of stuff, you're actually looking at maybe 1.5 to 4 hours tops.
Whoa. Okay. 1.5 to 4. That's a huge difference from 24.
It is. Now, for moderate software development, maybe 8 to 10 hours. Still good, but not 24. So Apple's number is really for light web browsing or video playback. It just raises that important question. What's your actual workflow like day to day?
That's a really critical point. So the pro battery life depends heavily on how pro your tasks actually are.
Okay. What about storage? Is 512 GB truly pro these days?
Frankly, no. For most creative pros, that base 512 GB SSD, it's just not enough. You'll likely find a 1 TB SSD is the sort of functional minimum if you want to avoid constantly plugging in external drives or paying for those pretty expensive Apple storage upgrades.
Right. Those upgrades add up fast. Okay, and the GPU, it's got all these pro features, but it's the base M4 chip. How do the graphics hold up for demanding tasks?
That's another key area. While the M4 is capable for many things, its 10-core integrated GPU can feel, underwhelming for true pro graphics work. If you're doing heavy 3D rendering, complex video effects, it's going to be disappointing compared to the M4 Pro or especially M4 Max chips, or even competitors with dedicated GPUs. So it's pro in name and features, but maybe not the graphics horsepower for certain pros.
Precisely. For those specific heavy graphics tasks, this base M4 isn't just less powerful, it might actually be the wrong tool. It kind of pushes you towards the higher-end chips, or maybe even looking elsewhere.
That's a really crucial distinction to make. What about long-term value, repairability? We've heard some chatter about that.
Yeah, and this is maybe the most concerning part for some. The repairability is severely limited. You've got soldered RAM, soldered SSD. Upgrades are impossible after purchase.
So what you buy is what you have. Forever.
Pretty much. And then there's Apple's software-based parts pairing. They essentially lock components to the specific logic board. This makes even common repairs, if done outside Apple, prohibitively expensive or sometimes impossible because non-matched parts just won't work.
Wow. So a single component failure down the line could.
It could potentially render a very expensive laptop irreparable. It definitely undermines the long-term value proposition, something to consider.
Definitely. And quickly on top of that, there have been some reports, maybe isolated, about inconsistent build quality, like trackpads or keys.
Yeah, we've seen reports of faulty trackpads, some creaking keys. It seems like maybe a bit of a manufacturing lottery, which isn't ideal for such a premium product.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Connectivity nuances, charging, display support.
Right. So charging, you can use USB-C or MagSafe 3. The MagSafe 3 port, though, allows for faster charging up to 140 watts if you have the right power adapter. USB-C ports top out at 100 watts.
Good to know. And external displays.
The base M4 chip supports up to 2 external displays natively, which is pretty good. However, Mac-O doesn't support something called multi-stream transport, or MST.
MST. What's the practical effect of that?
It means you can't just plug a hub into one Thunderbolt port and run 2 extended displays. They'll only mirror each other.
Okay. So mirrored, not 2 separate desktops.
Exactly. If you want 2 independent external screens, you need to use 2 separate ports on the laptop itself. Or you resort to using DisplayLink technology adapters.
Right, DisplayLink, which works, but sometimes comes with its own quirks and performance hits, right?
Precisely. It's often a compromise.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? This M4 MacBook Pro, it sounds genuinely exceptional in some ways. That display, the ports, the base performance for many tasks seems like a great fit for that prosumer, maybe?
I think that's a fair assessment. It fits perfectly for many who need robust features, but maybe aren't pushing the absolute limits constantly like a top-tier visual effects studio might. However, understanding those crucial nuances we talked about, the real-world battery expectations, the base storage being potentially tight, knowing where the GPU fits in the Pro lineup, and especially those significant long-term repairability challenges, that's absolutely critical. You need to know that stuff to avoid feeling, overwhelmed or maybe even regretting your choice later on. It really raises an important question, I think. When you invest in a tool labeled Pro, how deep do you really need to look past the headlines? How carefully must you match the device, not just to your current needs, but also your expectations for how long it should last and how you might use it down the road?
That's a really good question. Definitely something to mull over as you consider your next deep dives into technology.